Hi, good morning, everyone. Firstly, I'm honored to be here on this commencement. One of the reasons I am here is that I never attended my own convocation. Um, I was in Seattle and the convocation was in Montreal, and I thought the flights were too expensive for that weekend. And so I just missed it. I recently was at the Startup Mahakumbh, and the Honorable Prime Minister Modi said something which actually touched my heart. He said that some of us are so privileged that we need to pay forward, and taking out a little bit of time to share your stories, to maybe teach a class is important from a purpose perspective. No one had put it in that form to me earlier. My first story is about failures. My first startup did not do so well. It started out of house garage. And as I look back my journey, I feel these failures is what strengthened me and Lenskart to be what it is becoming today. I think a lot of us say that I am good at strategy, I am good at this, I am good at consulting, and I am good at, execution. But I would say as entrepreneurs, as you go out there, I can say that I am very good at failures. A lot of people don't know about the failures. They only know about the successes. But behind every success, I would say at least I've had more than 100 failures. But I don't get bogged down, right? People take it to. So I would say prepare yourself for more failures. Even today, as you graduate, I'm sure some of you must be at the top of the class and some of you would be at the bottom of the class. The top of the class, I would say, please be prepared to fail because maybe you have not tasted it so far. And the ones who are at bottom of the class, you are at an advantage as you go out there. So you should feel good about it because this will really help you. The second thing that I look back from my journey, which I think could be relevant, is around people. So usually when we are in such a competitive world, we are trying to win, build businesses. Life is like a fast track. Everything is moving. We are working very hard. It's almost like we don't care about anything in the world. And only thing we care about is our business and us. And that's what gets most of your time. If I remember my school days, I had friends who were not at all like me because I was an introvert and I had every extrovert as my friend. And I think that really helped me remain calm and balance. And then even when I went to college, the first year was very hard. But second year, even though life was hard, I had by then made friends who would keep me in check, who would make it easier, who would ensure that even though I am walking home to college in rain without any umbrella, not caring about, and life was hard and I'm waking up at 4 a.m., sleeping at maybe 1 o'clock. They made sure that life was fun at all times. And then when Lenskart started, I again met some amazing people. Some of them ended up becoming my co-founders. And I cannot imagine life without those people. In fact, I kind of get all the credit a lot of times I feel, but Lenskart is not built by me. It's built by the people that I got very lucky and fortunate to be associated with. And my co-founder, some of my co-founders, it's like they are the lost children, they are the children that my parents never had, kind of thing, right? So it's that close relationship that you want. And then when I finally got married, and this was before Lenskart got funded, my wife, I think she became the strength and pillar for me to continue to grow. And then when I had my son, and children need a lot of attention, my wife actually left her own business to take care of him so that I can continue to do this. Even as I got into, I never knew what I was getting into with Shark Tank. And Shark Tank brings a lot of this so-called fame and celebrity status. And luckily, I'm fortunate that I have friends who can keep me in check. That I am, grounded and I am still the same person and not getting carried away. So I would say that if there is one thing that I would change going back, and I would say is that there is very little you can build without people. In hindsight, and if I look at, I never probably valued this. I value it as a lot more right now. I'm not urging any of you to spend more social time just for the sake of it with your friends. But I would say that do realize that this will play a very, very large role as you go. Maybe the friends will change. Maybe you will spend more time with certain people, but you will need people to continue to build forward and to go through the toughest times and through the failure times in your life. So that would be something that I would really urge you to think about. My third and the last story is a little bit my journey in the last few years at Lenskart. I've had instances in life in the last few years which I never imagined. I visited hospital more times than I ever thought. I have seen COVID with near-death experience of people close to my family. And I can tell you, every time I've come out of those instances, I went into thinking that the world has fallen apart. But I came back thinking that I'm very fortunate. Because there is more, whatever you think is the worst happening with you, I can tell you that there is more worse happening to someone you don't know about. Right? So in many ways, I feel the fact that we are sitting here today in these fancy gowns, we are privileged. And whether you like it or not, and I'm sure all of you have problems, but we are still privileged in many ways that you will not understand today, but you will understand in a few years from now. We don't have an easy life at Lenskart, but I can tell you that I really enjoy the work that I do. Not because this is an X billion dollar valuation, not because, of Shark Tank or anything else, but I really love the purpose that I'm working for. And I would urge all of you to think about it, because this can create magic for you. The magic that it creates for you is that we are all in a very difficult environment. And while these struggles won't end, the failures won't end, but at the same time, you need to learn to be happy while all of this is happening. You really need to learn to be happy, because we are in an environment and in a country where everybody is hustling, everybody is raising the bar every day. So you'll never be content. You'll never be content. At least I'm never content. So how do you stay discontent and yet stay happy can only be if you're working on something you truly believe in. Don't just settle for the highest paying job. Don't just settle for the biggest business opportunity as you go out there. Settle for something that you really, and keep trying till you find it, for something that really makes you feel. And it is not about the level you work at. It is not. It is also not about that whether you should be the CEO or the entrepreneur. It's about, a photographer really trying to do photography. And I can tell you this, that the internal satisfaction that it drives is very, very powerful. Maybe some people may tell you this differently, but if you stay course, it can really change and give you satisfaction that nothing else can give. So think about it, right? When you're giving an interview for your next job and placement, don't just go to the company with the highest package. And sometimes it will take time for you to figure out what you really like. So keep dating with companies, and there's nothing wrong about it. Keep trying, but try to figure out what is really, because like I said, we are all very privileged. And from those, and Bill Gates said this once and it has stuck to me, from those to whom much is given, much is expected. So best of luck and congratulations.